What's up YouTube? This is Power Surge, and I wanted to make a video for you today talking about the 3 top cities to be an Uber driver. And as you may know, I made a video in January talking about the best cities to be an Uber driver, and I used information from a study that was a little outdated. And some people got really upset in the comment section because of certain things not being accurate. So I wanted to make a new list based on comments and personal testimonials that I've had from other drivers, as well as the basic details of the city like cost of living, weather, cost of gas, and a little bit of my own personal knowledge being a driver for so many years. So this is based off my personal opinion and testimonials. There's no study nationwide that's been conducted, but I think that this is a pretty accurate list, and some of your comments have been included in the decision making of these top 3 cities to be an Uber driver. Number 3 on this list is Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. So I recently visited Dallas, Fort Worth in March, and while I was there, I took a lot of Uber rides. Took rides from the airport, I took rides to the bar, and to be honest, it was March and it was cloudy and humid, about 100 degrees, and I took an Uber twice just to get out of the rain because there was these kind of tropical rainstorms that would happen once in a while. And while I was there, I talked to the Uber drivers, and they all seemed very happy. They all had really nice cars as well, surprisingly nice cars for Uber drivers. And they told me that they stayed busy because of Dallas's De Bellum bar district. They have this area called De Bellum where there's tons of bars all lined up next to each other, and it is kind of a free-for-all on the weekends. There's a lot of people in this area. So you've got a busy bar district. There's bars scattered throughout the town, as well as you have a busy downtown area. So the drivers in Dallas that I spoke to all said that they love doing Uber. Another big factor that makes it something that makes Dallas on this top 3 list is that the cost of living is so low. Compared to California, I was blown away. I got a sandwich for $5. At the same sandwich shop, it would have been $9 here in California. Gas was much cheaper, and my friend's apartment that I was staying at, he said it paid about $750 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment, which is really nice. In my city, you could not find a 1-bedroom apartment for under $1,700 here in California. So the cost of living is low, but you've got a busy area with lots of activity with the airport, the downtown area, and the bars. And you can make good money, have low cost of living, cheap gas, cheap food, cheap insurance. So Dallas is number 3. Number 2 on the top 3 cities to be an Uber driver is Indianapolis, Indiana. So a good man, Robert, left a comment on my last YouTube video talking about Indianapolis, and I did some further digging into the city. And it is in fact an excellent place to be an Uber driver. Let me tell you why. Indianapolis is considered the racing capital of the world. So the Indy 500 and Red Bull races and other NASCAR races are held there, and it brings a lot of people to the city and a lot of people to these stadiums. Indianapolis has also hosted a lot of sporting events. It's the home of the NCAA. So you got the NCAA headquarters, meaning basketball games, basketball championships are held there quite frequently, and that brings a lot of people from out of town, and people want to come out to see the basketball games. They take Uber. All these sporting events contribute to people needing rides. People fly in to see a sporting event, they stay at a hotel while they need rides to the airport and to the arena for the sporting event. Rides to and from several times. So they factor Uber in as part of their vacation expenses or their travel expenses. And Indianapolis brings a lot of people to spend that travel money. So my friend Robert actually told me that while the Indy 500 was going on, the Uber surge price went as high as 12.1x. So a 12x ride, which is a ridiculously high surge price, if you got that ride, you would be making a lot of money depending on the distance that you had to take the person. I imagine it was really difficult to pick someone up because it must have been thousands of people trying to get a ride. But if you could pick someone up and get a 12x ride, you would make ridiculous money. So Indianapolis has collected multi-millions of dollars in tax revenue from these sporting events, and it's funneled a lot of that back into the metropolitan area. So you've got a very fast-growing downtown district in Indianapolis. Not to mention, you've got an international airport, Indianapolis International, as well as a large young population. So 35% of Indianapolis's population is under 25. As you know, young people are the ones using Uber, Lyft, rideshare apps. So you have a large customer base for the city, as well as you have a relatively low cost of living. It is not the lowest in the nation, but for what you can make as to what you would pay, you probably do pretty well in Indianapolis because of the moderate cost of living, busy airport, and all the business from those sporting events and the NASCAR races. Alright, and number one, the moment you've been waiting for, the best city to be an Uber driver, in my opinion, based on all the Uber drivers I've talked to and all the comments that I've got and all the knowledge I have from all the 700 or 7,000, however many rides I've driven in my career as an Uber driver, the best city is Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Las Vegas is the number one city to be an Uber driver, in my personal opinion. I've talked to a lot of drivers in Las Vegas, and they do really good because Las Vegas, believe it or not, has kind of a small local population. And a lot of people come to Vegas on the weekends or during different holidays or sporting events like a fight or a concert like EDC or Britney Spears at the Bellagio, I don't know. But they come to town for these events and there's not a whole lot of locals to drive people around. So the Uber business stays pretty busy and you'll get these surge weekends like a fight this weekend, like oh my lord, there's a fight at the MGM. So business for Uber goes up. A lot more people come to town and they need rides. You do have a lot of taxis competing with Uber in Vegas, but Uber still has a pretty good dominion in the area, and from the drivers that I've talked to, they seem to make good money. Another reason Las Vegas is number one on the list has to be the very low cost of living. Las Vegas is so cheap to live there. I have a lot of friends who live there, and a lot of them moved from California to Vegas, and it's great. Rent for them, I have a friend with a 2-bedroom apartment, it's like $650. Gas is cheap, there's no state income tax. When you go to the grocery store to buy some food, like if it says $1.99 for a bottle of Gatorade, you get the penny back. They don't charge you tax on a lot of the food, and there's a lot of nice incentives tax-wise to stay in Nevada. But Las Vegas in particular is a cheap city to live in. You have to be careful not to go in a bad area because there are some areas of Vegas that are dangerous. But you can still find super affordable housing in a good part of town that is cleaned up and safe. You also have to factor that Vegas is a 24/7 city. It's the city that never sleeps. It's Sin City. There are people out and about 24 hours of the day. On the weekends, it's a lot busier. People are going to strip clubs at 4 in the morning. People are going to late night food and continue drinking at the Pepper Mill in downtown. You got no idea what wild things people are doing in Vegas, but Vegas is alive in the night. So there's times where you can drive all day, all night. Another thing about Vegas that I think is relevant, and I heard this from the several Uber drivers I talked to, is that they do get tips quite frequently. People go there on vacation. Maybe they're from a place where you tip the cab driver, you tip the Uber driver, or maybe they're just feeling generous because they won some money at the blackjack table. One of the drivers told me while I was in Vegas that somebody gave him a green token, a green chip for one of the casinos, and that's a $25 tip. I mean, you gotta go to the casino and cash it, but that's $25 that he received just from a nice patron. So you may get lucky and get some good tips if you're in Vegas. You'll have cheap cost of living, and you'll get good rides with lots of surge prices and lots of incentives that Uber puts out for these busy events. That about wraps up our top 3 cities to be an Uber driver. If you're not an Uber driver and you'd like to be, you can click a link in the description. My code is going to be posted on the screen. You just type that code in when you sign up to be a driver. It'll get you and me a referral bonus. You won't get the same sign-up bonus without using my referral code, so please go ahead and do that. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and smash that like button. Hit subscribe because I make videos about ride sharing all the time. And as always, safe driving and have a great day.